Hi everybody, we're on the last part of assignment 4.1, completing the circle of life here. At the end of part 2, I left you on your own to finish this income tax frame. So this is what it should look like. Income tax over tax, and we have 5 quintiles. So we can rename this if you click once and then wait a second and click again. So we could call this income tax, let's say, and we could call this one real estate tax. Alright, in this one we're going to go through how to make the final layout of the map. So all we're going to do is go to View, Layout View. And now we have our 2 different maps here. And so we can drag one down here, can resize one, drag it up here. Alright, now you notice that, well, first of all, actually, let's set some guidelines so we can make sure these are aligned properly. Alright, let's line them up here. Let's make this 4 inches and this one 4 inches. Okay. Alright, so you notice this one is far more zoomed in than this one. So if we do full extent on both of them, all you have to do is click into the frame and click on the full extent, and there you go, and it'll zoom out so that both of them are at the same level. Except I just noticed that this is not hugging there. Okay, let's do this again. Full extent. Okay, so now they're both zoomed in to the same extent. Now what we need to do is we need a title. So that's easy to do. Insert title. Notice that in Pennsylvania they spell Allegheny G-H-E compared to G-A like they spell it in New York. And all you have to do, we don't want this here, so if you click here, so you get the 4-way arrow, and then we can drag it up here. Now that's out of our way. The last, we have 2 more steps. One is we need a legend for both. So remember that whichever field is, or whichever group data is activated here. So right now, income tax, right? If you click on activate, this one's activated. So if you go back to data view, we can see that the one with the dark areas up here, these are income tax. These are some of the wealthier areas around Pittsburgh. And if we go back to our layout view, we can see this is the map here that has income tax. So now if we go to insert legend, rivers, municipalities, let's click through all this here, and boom. Alright, and so that is our, let's create one more guide here, so we can pin it right up against there. Okay, so that's our legend for that one, and now before we add the legend for this one, we need to activate this layer. So you notice also if you click on this one, it activates these layers here. So watch, this one will be dark, and now if we click up here, this one is dark. And so insert legend, and we just do the same thing again. Click next a whole bunch of times, and then let's line this up right here. Alright, and there we go. And so we can see 11.55%, 7.58% there. And that's okay that these are different percentages because these are different scales in terms of real estate and income taxes. Okay, so are we missing anything? Let's go back to our checklist. We have map 1, real estate taxes, percent of total taxes. So this is map 1, real estate taxes is percent of total taxes. Map 2, income taxes is percent of total taxes. That's what we have here. 2 legends, quantiles with 5 categories. So both these are 5 categories, and we know they're quantiles from what we did before. Quantities, displayed as percents, so we can see these are percents on both of them. Title, we have a title up here. and municipalities are labeled. So the municipalities are labeled right there. And so the discussion question in the book is about which areas have high percentage of real estate taxes versus income taxes. And it talks about how the income taxes here, we can see the dark areas up here and down here, and the communities near the rivers here have higher real estate taxes for the most part than income taxes. And so part of the reason for this is that, well, you see the higher income areas, they just pay a higher percentage of their tax in income tax. But also the lower income areas, these property taxes, they went a long time between property reassessments, and so a lot of the wealthier tracts had gained in value, but they weren't actually paying more property taxes because the property hadn't been reassessed. So according to the county, property values hadn't changed at all. So this was a huge fight in Pittsburgh when they reassessed the properties. The people didn't really realize how much more or less they were going to be paying in property tax values when they finally did reassess it. It was something like 33 or 36% was the average increase in value. And so anyone whose value went up by less than that amount, actually their taxes went down. But a lot of people got their property tax statement in the mail, their assessment statement, I should say, in the mail, and they saw their value went up 10, 20, 30%, and they thought their property taxes would go up a whole lot. And they, got very upset, and all the politicians were too scared to explain what was actually going on and just insisted on delaying it even more. And so it was over a decade between assessments in Allegheny County. Anyway, a little civics and history lesson. So the last step here, well, two steps. Let's save this, make sure we don't lose this. Two is let's make sure we import this or export this into our assignment. So file, export map. Alright, and so 4-1, I've already done this a couple times, so let's say 14. Alright, and then we go into our Word document, and so right here, we just go to Insert. Alright, so we go to Insert Picture, and here's the folder. It's in My Assignments. I actually accidentally saved it in Chapter 3, so I couldn't find it for a little while here. 2014, so insert it, and here's our map right here, and it takes up the whole page. And so you can see this goes with 3-1, 3-2, and now we just have 4-2 left to go here. Okay, and I'll see you when we're ready for 4-2.